So this recipe is good for about 2 medium-sized pizzas. You're going to want to start out by adding 2 3/4 cups of bread flour, and then you're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, and then go ahead and whisk that together. After that, you're going to want to get 1 1/8 cup of room temperature water and 1/4 teaspoon of bread yeast, and then just mix that together and let it sit for a few minutes. You want the yeast to kind of get activated into the water. As you see here, it kind of becomes like a murky color. You might see some type of foam on the top. If it doesn't do that, you're going to just want to redo the water and the yeast, otherwise your bread won't rise. Then you just want to mix it all together just until all of the flour is mixed into the water and the yeast. So after that, you're going to want to get a damp towel, so just get it wet, wring it out as well as possible, so that way none of the water drips into the dough. You're going to put the towel over the dough and just let it sit for about 4 hours. So while the dough is rising, you can go ahead and get your cheese ready. You want to use whole milk mozzarella cheese, and you want to do it a few hours early. That way you can put the cheese in the freezer and give it time to freeze before you put it on your pizza. The frozen cheese helps keep the cheese from burning while you're cooking your pizza. So now after you get your cheese ready, you're going to want to start on the sauce. You want to give the sauce a good amount of time to cool as well, and also settle a little bit and get everything to blend well together. So you're going to start with about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, and then chop those up as finely as possible. And after that, you're going to want to go ahead and take half of a sweet onion, and you're going to want to dice that as well as possible. So if you keep the end of the onion intact, it'll hold the onion together, so it makes it a lot easier to dice. So then you're going to want to warm a saucepan to about medium heat, put some oil in it, and then add your onions and your garlic, and you're going to just want to cook that for a couple of minutes. And then you want to add a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, and reduce your heat to like a low simmer. Alright, so from here you're going to add 2 teaspoons of red pepper flakes. I add a little bit extra because I like it a little spicy. Then you're going to add a tablespoon of oregano. Oregano is the main flavor in pizza. And then you're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of basil, and then some salt and pepper. I do about 15 to 20 turns of salt and pepper, but you can adjust that to your own taste. You're going to want to mix this all together and let it sit on a low to medium heat for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then you'll remove it from the heat. I keep the lid off, that way a lot of the steam can get released and the sauce will thicken up. Alright, so after your dough has been sitting for about 4 hours, you're going to want to remove it. I don't do anything fancy in terms of measurement, I just kind of estimate about half. And you're going to want to rip it into 2 or cut it. And all you're doing is folding the dough back into the back here, and you should get a nice smooth surface on the top. And then you're going to want to pinch all of the stuff on the back together, and then slam it down on the counter to seal your dough together. Do the same thing with the other one. And then you'll add some olive oil to the pans that you're keeping your dough in. You want to make sure to get a good amount of olive oil on the top and the bottom so that way nothing sticks. And then you're just going to cover that with plastic wrap and let that sit for an additional 2 hours. Alright, so now that it's been about 2 hours, you want to plop your dough down and get all-purpose flour on both sides. There's a bunch of ways to stretch pizza dough, but fundamentally all you're doing is taking the thickest parts of the dough and stretching them out and trying to get like a nice round pizza. Go ahead and put some flour onto a pizza peel. If you don't have a pizza peel, you can easily just use cardboard wrapped in aluminum foil. As long as the cardboard is sturdy enough. You want 1 ladle full of your sauce. Put it in the middle and then just start spreading it out from the middle. It may look like you need more sauce, but just keep spreading it. You don't want a soaked pizza. And then from there, you're just going to add your cheese. You may have to break it up because sometimes it freezes together. And just add as much of the cheese as you want. And this is also where you're going to go ahead and add any toppings if you want. I just don't. It helps to keep a little bit of the pizza off of the front of the peel when you go to transfer it into the oven. I actually missed a little bit. I was trying to hold my phone and do that at the same time. And this was only after 6 minutes. The pizza was completely done. So you're going to want to take your peel again and just do this as fast as possible and transfer it to a cutting board. And then from there, just cut your pizza and there you go. You've just made homemade pizza. I hope you found this video useful. Go ahead and let me know how your pizza turns out.